What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Cannonballs podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Dane Cannon. Co-hosting with me today
is your boy Jake Bulls on the mic. 1, 2, baby. And I need to fix our title for this week or for this episode. But yes, we are back, baby. We are back.
That we are. And guys, week 3 is here. Excited. Hopefully some teams can recuperate, rebound, get back on track. Other teams keep it going. But yeah, we got an exciting week, guys. Follow us on our Instagram here. Like, comment, subscribe. Anything you can do to help us out, we'd greatly appreciate it. We'll be going game by game, just like we usually do. We already covered Thursday night in our Power Rankings episode. So if you guys are expecting that, listen to our Power Rankings episode. It will be at the very end of that episode. Jake, do you have anything to add before we get going?
Yeah, so Dane, we had the exact picks last week. We both had 9. Week 1, Dane had 12. I had 11.
I think it was 13 and 12.
Yeah, 13 to 12. Thank you. So Dane is ahead of me by 1 game. It's kind of hard because we usually agree on most picks. We do tend to have like 1 or 2 different ones, but I'm trying to have the most picks at the end of the season, kind of like Fox or NFL Fox or whatever.
Oh yeah, baby.
They keep the scores and shit. But all right, let's get on to the Sunday matchups. We already covered Thursday, like Dane said. All right, let's go with the 10 o'clock slate first. The first game we have, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. As at the point of this recording, we do not know the status of Anthony Richardson. I think if Anthony Richardson is in this game, I think it's probably a little bit closer. But the Ravens, I don't know though, man. Like the Ravens have been winning, but I feel like the Colts, if Anthony Richardson is there, they could fuck around and find out what the Colts are about and potentially be on upset alert. I'm not gonna pick the Colts though. I'm gonna go with the easy, low hanging fruit here. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens as well. I definitely think that if the Colts have Anthony Richardson in this game, I think it's a lot more competitive. Gardner Minshew, I think, can be competitive, but I like the talent of Anthony Richardson. I think that Shane Steichen's done a great job coaching him up. I think that he's looked more accurate. He's good on his legs. Like you mentioned in one of our earlier episodes this week, he looks like a Cam Newton-esque type quarterback. So a lot to look forward with Anthony Richardson in the future. I'm going to go Ravens as well. They are at home. I like that defense. I think the Colts can make this a more competitive match, but I'm going to go Ravens.
All right. Real quick, I do want to give you guys, I don't know if you have yours, but I'm going to give my early season predictions just to see if we differ. I got to load it up. My computer is being very slow right now. So it is loading right now. I'm sure I took the Ravens here. Yes. Oh, that is.
I think in our preseason predictions, we gave the Colts 2 or 3 wins. It was bad.
I got 5 for them for the year.
I think I had them at 4 wins. I think they're gonna definitely surpass 4 wins. I think they're a 7-win team at this point.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I did take the Ravens in our early predictors. So right on. Let's get on to the next 10 o'clock game. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat today. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Nick Chubless Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and that is a huge loss going up against this Tennessee Titans defensive front, which specializes in run defense. That is a huge loss. I think Jerome Ford's good, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to compare to Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, even if they had Nick Chubb, I think it would be a hard day for Nick Chubb. That defense shut down the Chargers running game, and I almost want to take the Titans here, man. I don't know. I was not impressed with Deshaun Watson, the thrower. That defense, however, was pretty impressive to me. What's his name? Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford,
What's
the
his-
running back.
Yeah. So he does look pretty nice. Maybe he can step in. There's already talks of Kareem Hunt coming back to the
Cleveland
Browns
Browns.
to play the position of punter. But
Punter. Punter.
yeah.
What? Like punt returner?
You don't remember that joke where
Oh,
he
he's
like
just gonna punt
punted
the
the
ball?
chick? No, he
Yeah.
punted that girl in the freaking like elevator or whatever it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bad joke, but no, but in all seriousness, there are talks of him re-signing with the Cleveland Browns. I think it's probably good. I don't really know how much Kareem Hunt has left in the tank, to be honest. The last couple years in Cleveland, kind of lackluster. Oh man, this one's tough, dude. I do almost want to take the Titans. I'm a little nervous for the Browns.
Let me take this one. Let me go first. I'm going to take the Browns mostly because of their defense. I think both teams have a great defense, but I think that the Cleveland Browns are a little bit more deep in, not just the defensive line. I think that they have a decent secondary. I think that they're going to make plays. I think their offense is serviceable. I think Deshaun Watson still has to improve significantly. But the Browns have a pretty decent O-line as well. It's not like anything to I don't think it's like a top 5 unit by any means, but it's up there. Like they have a pretty good offensive line. And I don't know, man. I'm just going to take the Browns at home. I like their defense. I like the Titans defense. I think this is going to be a defensive battle, but I'm going to trust Deshaun Watson. I'm going to give him one more opportunity to prove me wrong. And if not, then I'm probably going to bet against the Browns. But yeah, I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah, you know what? That matchup of that D-line going up against Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, when he plays...
The Browns are definitely not the Chargers defense, that's for sure.
Yeah. When he plays elite defenses, he tends to crumble. So you know what? Thanks for helping me make my decision. I'm also going to go Browns here.
Okay.
But I would not be surprised if the Titans win.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I think Derrick Henry could have a pretty decent game as well. And Tajay Spears has been coming on nicely. So Treylon Burks had a huge catch against the Chargers. DeAndre Hopkins, they had him on a snap count. So maybe the Titans can do something. I think it'll be a close matchup.
All right, next 10 o'clock game, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to the Miami Dolphins. Denver Broncos are 0-2, and the Miami Dolphins are 2-0. I mean, Miami
is this
is
Miami's first home game?
Yes.
I'm going Miami.
Yeah, it's the Miami Dolphins are firing on all cylinders.
Running game, passing game.
Yeah.
They are without Jalen Waddle, but
yeah, that will be interesting.
But if Sam Howell can carve up this Denver defense, I think Tua can definitely carve up this defense with Tyreek.
Yeah, and Tua's playing at, he's already at in the lead for MVP at this point of the season. I mean, it's only the third week, but if he continues, man, it's hard to not give it. If you can continue this throughout the season and stay healthy, I have no problem with it. This is a better defense than. Well, they play the Patriots.
Patriots definitely have a solid defense. I would say
they still put up 30 points, 24 points.
I believe it was 24 points. I think the final score of that game was 24-17. But, one thing that I do want to mention with Denver is even though they are 0-2, their offense has looked a lot better. Russell Wilson's looked a lot better. Marvin Mims has come on nicely. Javonte Williams is kind of getting his legs under him again. But it doesn't matter for me. I'm taking Miami at home. It's their home opener. Their defense, I think, is going to start clicking. It's a new defensive scheme. It's going to take a little bit of time, especially with Vic Fangio. So, I'm going Miami Dolphins. I like the matchup.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Dolphins as well. I just think they're really good. Yeah. All right, so we both got the Dolphins. Where's my freaking... Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, next game. Ew. We got the New England Patriots traveling to the New York Jets. I'm gonna go Patriots here. Patriots get their first win. I'm not. I don't. I'm done making excuses for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and
I
the
think that
Patriots have a great defense still.
yeah,
So
yeah. The Jets have a great defense too, but so do the Patriots. And the Patriots, I think, can actually score this year. They look a lot more explosive. They look 10 times better than they did last year.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I got the Patriots in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Patriots as well. Zach Wilson has struggled against Belichick's defense in the past. I think it continues. I think that this will be a relatively low scoring game. I think the Jets defense is going to do a lot more um, in this game than they did against Dallas, but that's because Dallas, I think, has the number one defense. I think New England's a top 10 unit, but I don't think that it's comparable to Dallas's defense by any means. So I think the Jets can make it more competitive. But yeah, I'm going to go New England with you. I think Mac Jones is a better quarterback. And even though the Jets have more weapons, quarterback's one of the most important positions. Give me New England.
All right, next game on the 10 o'clock, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Washington Commanders. Commanders are 2-0. They've had some gritty wins. But I'm still gonna go Bills here. I don't think the Commanders are on their level yet. It is home, but I don't know. They've kind of had to like claw their way back into their last two games, and barely ended up winning. I don't think the Bills are like that. They had their bad game, the first game of the season, but they were firing on all cylinders last week. So hopefully they can get that. This is I would say a tougher defense than the Raiders. I think this will tell a lot about Josh Allen. If he can carve up and play good against a pretty decent defense, then he'll be fine. But if he struggles, we might need to be a little bit worried for Joshy Poo. But I'm still going to go Bills.
I'm going Bills as well. Unlike the Denver Broncos, the Buffalo Bills, if they get an early lead, which is kind of been the storyline for the Commanders, they've been getting down early in games. I don't think they catch the Bills like they did the Denver Broncos. And because of that, I'm going Bills.
All right. That was an easy one. So far we have not disagreed on any.
Nope.
But let's get on to this one is going to be sneaky good game. I think this might be the game of the week. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Detroit Lions. This might be a really good game.
I think this is going to be a great game.
This is like, and they're like completely opposite philosophies on offense. Run the ball, pass the ball, like completely different. Man, I'm gonna let you take this one because I'm gonna think about this one a little bit.
I am going with the Atlanta Falcons. I had originally chosen the Detroit Lions, but with Amon-Ra St. Brown potentially missing this week, Jahmyr Gibbs is taking over the starting role from David Montgomery. It's going to be a little bit of a transition. So Josh Reynolds is going to be the number one. And I like Josh Reynolds. I think that he's a competent wide receiver too, who can step up. But I don't know, man. Bijan Robinson, I think, is going to have himself a game against this defense. I think the Detroit Lions have been playing a lot better than they did last year defensively. But Bijan is just a different breed, man. Like, he stepped into the NFL and made his name known. Like, it was immediate. And just watching his highlights against Green Bay, I'm like, this guy moves differently. He is huge to be moving that fast and that twitchy. I love it. I like the way the ground pound game has been working for Atlanta. I think that they can slow the clock down. I think that if they take an early lead, they can bleed the clock. And as much as I love Detroit, injuries are starting to kind of stack up slightly for them. So because of that, I'm going with the Falcons.
So real quick before I give my pick, I just want to tell everybody in my early predictors, I picked all the same selections. I picked the Browns, I picked the Dolphins, I picked the Patriots, I picked the Bills, and I also picked, who was the other one? There was another one we talked about. I think that was it. But yeah, I picked all the same as my predictions for this week. But for this game, the way, I mean, let's be honest, like Arthur Smith is not going to put this game into Desmond Ritter's hands. Like he is not afraid to run the ball 60 times in a game. And that's why they have 3 good running backs. They have 3 good options. If one goes down, the next one is just going to step up. I mean, obviously Bijan is like the dude, but Tyler Algier is pretty good. And then Cordell Patterson, although he's pretty old, he was still explosive last year. He's still got juice. He's run, he's big, he can do everything. He can catch. They can all catch and run. So that's how they win this game. They slow the game down. They stop that high-powered Lions offense. And, we don't really know what the status of Amon-Ra is. He might have turf toe.
Yep.
David Montgomery is going to be out.
Mm-hmm.
They did sign Zonovan Knight. So that's kind
from
of
the
telling,
Jets, right? Is that where he was from?
Yeah. I don't know if he was still on the Jets, but I know they signed him. Maybe he was just like on waivers or something.
Mm-hmm.
But man, yeah, they're gonna be, and the Falcons play pretty good defense at times. Like it's not like shut down, but they make stops and they make plays when they need
defense is stepping up, especially with the signing of Bates from Cincinnati at safety. I think he's definitely helped the secondary out a lot. And this defensive line is looking a lot better than it has in the recent memory. So, but the thing is, like, even as good as the defensive line has been looking or improved, the Detroit Lions still have one of the best offensive lines in the game. I'd say they're a top 5 unit. So this game's going to be close. It is in Detroit. I'm just feeling the Falcons. I'm kind of riding the bandwagon with them right now.
Yeah, I am aboard. Like I was aboard their little bandwagon in the beginning of the year last year. But they just had a tough loss. I don't know. I almost want to pick the Lions back and forth. I do want to pick the Falcons though. I picked in my early predictors. I picked the Lions.
So did I,
because I didn't know what the hell the Lions or the Falcons were going to be. But if they get into a shootout, if it
turns into a shootout and Desmond Ridder is forced to pass the ball, then I'm going Lions all the way. Because I think Jared Goff he does have his up and down games, but he's been pretty consistent. Unfortunately, that was a brutal loss last week in a overtime pick 6. But if it comes down to a shootout, I'm still going to trust Jared Goff a little bit more, even though I really like Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I don't think they're using Kyle Pitts at all. Matt Collins can be utilized, but if Atlanta takes an early lead and they can do their philosophy of running the fucking ball, I'm going Atlanta all the way. I'm still picking Atlanta regardless, but we'll see how the game plan turns out.
I'm just going to go opposite of you. I want to try to catch up. I also think this is a get right game for the Lions after a pretty brutal loss to the Seahawks. And it's at home. They don't want to lose 2 times in a row at home. So I'm pretty reluctant here. I think this is going to be a very close game. But I'm going to take the Lions. All
right. I like it. Finally,
we differ on one.
To
be opposite. Yeah.
Yep.
This one could go either way, to be honest. I think this is going to be a sneaky, sneaky good game.
I think it's going to be one of the best games in the morning slate for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry, we talked about that game a little bit too long, but it's okay. We love football. So do you if you're listening to this. All right. Next game for the 10 o'clock slate. We have the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Green Bay Packers. Man,
I think it's going to be a good game.
I do.
But I already know who I'm picking, but I'll let you go first this time.
So the Saints didn't really have their best game on Monday night, or at least Derek Carr didn't. That defense ate. Packers also didn't have – I mean, they had an okay game against the Falcons. They ended up losing, but who did I pick in the early predictors? I bet I picked the Packers. Oh, I picked the Saints here. All right, there I go. I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna pick the Saints here. I
Yeah,
think the Saints are sneaky good this year, and I'm
yeah.
gonna go with the Saints.
I'm going Saints as well, mostly because of that defense. Even when Derek Carr doesn't have the best performance, he's bailed out by that defense. And even though Carolina is not a good team, that was a division rivalry. It's a division opponent, so division opponents always play teams tougher. So I'm gonna give Carolina a little bit of benefit of the doubt with how they played Carolina and how Carolina played them. Yeah, I'm gonna go Saints. I think that Jordan Love has looked good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's looked like an NFL quarterback. That's the comp that we gave him. Like he looks like he belongs out there. I do think that this might be his toughest matchup defensively that he's gone up against so far. And so because of that, I'm going to go New Orleans as well.
All right. All right. Another divisional game. We got the Houston Texans traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm gonna say this right now. If Trevor Lawrence and the Jags play like they did last week, they're gonna lose this game. I was not impressed with Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball. I was just not impressed with that team. The defense was the bright spot of that team last week. And CJ Stroud is like one of the top 5 passing leaders. And I mean, they really can't do much on the ground, but he's slinging the rock. He has weapons, unlike Bryce Young. So I think the Texans could sneak up on the Jags, but I'm going to give the Jags the benefit of the doubt. I think they get back on track. I think Trevor Lawrence, this is his year that he breaks out. I think that defense, keeps shutting down people. I mean, and that was against the Colts, to be honest. Like, let's be honest. The Colts defense and the Jags defense are not the same, even though they played in a close game week 1. But for that reason, I'm going to go with the Jags.
I'm going Jags as well. I think the Houston Texans offensive line beat up first and foremost. The Jags have a solid defensive line. They have a solid defense in general. Dameon Pierce probably won't be able to get much going through the ground. It's going to be on CJ Stroud's shoulders yet again, I feel like. And I think the Jags have a really good defense to shut down CJ Stroud. I don't think that he's going to have as good of a game as he did last week. And because of that, I think that Travis Etienne could also eat this game. I think that they could get it going on the ground. Maybe Calvin Ridley. I see him having a bounce back week. I think Trevor Lawrence will look better than he did against the Chiefs, but Houston did play the Jags tough last year. And I think they actually beat the Jags last year, if I'm not mistaken. So it could happen, but I'm going to go Jags. I just trust them a little bit more.
Yeah, my early predictors, I also took the Jags. So for the last game of the 10 o'clock slate, we got your boys, Los Angeles.
Jesus. We have the AFC Chargers playing the NFC Chargers. That's what it is.
Or is it the other way around? Who's older?
The AFC Vikings and the NFC Vikings. Either way, it's just two teams who know how to fucking choke. One thing that I will...
the positive of this game, one of them has to win, right? Unless they end in a fucking tie. Jesus. That would be the honestly, I might go for the tie here. I might pick the tie.
Oh my God. I will say this. The Vikings, even when they've struggled, they've looked good against the Chargers. I don't know what it is. The Chargers, like I said earlier in our week 2 recap video, the Chargers in 2018, they went 12-4. 2019, they went to 5-12. And I see that kind of being like a similar story to the Chargers this year. Even with all the talent in the world, I don't think that Brandon Staley's a true head coach. I don't trust the decision making. I don't like his challenges. His defense looks lost. And he's a defensive minded head coach. And his defense in his tenure, the 3 years that he's been here, they've all been like bottom tier units. And because of that, I think Justin Jefferson, who's carved us up before, gets it going again. However, Alexander Mattison hasn't been looking good. If Austin Eckler's back, this will make it a high-scoring game, I think. I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think either defense is going to look that great. So I think it'll be an entertaining game, but I'm going to go Vikings. I just trust them a little bit more, especially at home. So, yeah, I'm going to go Vikings.
Yeah, man. This is very unfortunate for either team. if it doesn't end in a tie, it's unfortunate because one of these teams is going to start 0-3.
Yeah.
And I think there's like some stat like teams that start 0-2 have like a 1% chance.
It's 11% chance of making it.
Yeah. So making the playoffs. So, you know, these teams are already behind the curve. I would say the Chargers are a little bit more in a stacked AFC, and also a pretty tough division. I'll have to add, but yeah, this is tough, man. These teams are so similar. They have a lot of firepower on offense. Their defense is questionable. I think Kevin O'Connell, is that the coach of the Vikings?
Yeah,
I think he's probably a better coach than Brandon Staley. And it's home field advantage. Yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to go with the Vikings too, man. It's very unfortunate because you know Herbert just got paid. And if Eckler is healthy, you know that's gonna help them. But I don't know. I don't think that. What we've heard is there's no timetable for his return. So it's like, could he return this week? Is he gonna be gone for 8 weeks? I don't know. Like it didn't look like that bad of an injury, but you know, a sprained ankle is a sprained ankle.
I will say, I think the Chargers will rush a lot better against this Minnesota defense than they did against the Tennessee Titans defense. But I just don't trust the Chargers defense. I think they have the most money out of any NFL team put into the defense. I think they have 110 million of their cap invested in the defense, and it's one of the worst defenses. They have stars all over the place. They just can't put it together. And so I think that, you know, it comes down to coaching a lot of the time, and I just don't trust it. So, yeah, I think the Vikings got this one. I think it'll be a close game. It'll probably end in a field goal, but I got the Vikings winning this one.
Yeah, I got the Vikings too. That sucks. 0-3. That freaking sucks.
Yeah,
if that happens. But Chargers, you know what? I will say this: every time I go against the Chargers, they win. And every time I pick them, they lose. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if the Chargers win. So this will be my one in my confidence picks. All right, so that's the 10 o'clock slate. Let's get on to the 1 o'clock. Okay, not very interesting matchups at all. I think this is some of the most boring, worst matchups. Wow. Jesus Christ. All right, the first one is we got the Seattle Seahawks at Carolina Panthers in Seattle. I'm not going to complicate this one. I think the Seattle Seahawks are a far better team. They got back on track against a good Lions team. And the Panthers are young, and Bryce Young, although I've heard people say he doesn't look great. I've seen some potential of him. I've seen the potential. I just don't think he has weapons. I don't think he has weapons like at all. Like his number one is Adam Thielen. Dog. Adam Thielen's like 35. I mean, that's not old by any means, but in football years, that might as well be ancient. So yeah, I'm gonna go Seahawks here. And for my predictors
Seahawks as well.
Yeah, so we both got Seahawks, and my predictors I had Seahawks anyways. So
yeah, Seattle at home is going to be a tough place to play for a rookie quarterback. And I think that they're building off the momentum of winning an OT against a good Lions team. So they looked a lot better than they did week 1. So yeah, give me Seattle.
Did the Rams beat they did. They beat them in Seattle. Interesting. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to see what that was. All right, so the next boring ass. God damn it, dude. This is going to be. I mean, you never know the way this team has been playing, but we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Arizona Cardinals. Not going to complicate it. Holy shit, dude. The Cowboys have an 88.1% chance to win this game.
Hey, I will say this. The Cardinals have been feisty as hell in the beginning of the season. They've lost, but like they've been in both games. Like they've outperformed expectations. I will say that. I thought they were going to be the worst team. I don't think that they're the worst team, even without Kyler Murray. But here's the thing.
Do.
I don't. I think the Bears are. Spoiler alert. And that's one of the next games. I think the Bears are the worst team. But one thing I will say, Budda Baker is out. So that's another hit that this Cardinals team is going to deal with. Josh Dobbs against this Cowboys defense. Oh my God. I do not see it. And I don't see James Conner rushing for anything over 50 something yards. Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm thinking who I think the worst team is. It's pretty hard because, you know, the Justin Fields, the name is kind of like the only thing that separates them, but he's not good. I mean, he's good at running the ball, but like Josh Dobbs can actually throw. So shit, man. Yeah. I mean, they're virtually the same team. I
think the Cardinals defense has looked way better, unless it's a second half.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna complicate this. This isn't the Commanders. This isn't the Giants, who also I think are trash. This is, in my opinion, the number one defense. I predicted them to have the number one defense this year. I think Micah's going to get the defensive MVP or whatever, the defensive player of the year, whatever it's called. I think this might be Dan Quinn's last year because he's just going to have such a baller defense. He's going to get a head coaching job somewhere. So, yeah, I'm not going to complicate this one. I got the Cowboys.
All right. We've only differed on one game so far.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one I might have differed with you on is the Chargers. Everything else,
I'm glad you picked them to lose, because if you're right and that's actually accurate, and anytime you pick them to lose, they win, I'll take it.
Shit, man. Yeah, we really did go with every game together. And I really only picked the Lions. I wanted to pick the Falcons. I did. But I just kind of went with the Lions just to have a little bit of a change up. But, yeah. All right. I know for a fact I didn't pick the Cardinals to win this in my early predictors, so let's move on. Jesus Christ. All right. We got the Chicago Bears traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs. I literally just said the Bears are the worst team in the NFL, in my opinion. I'm sorry, Bears fans. Come at me. You guys came at me before saying that your defense was going to step up, and where the fuck are you now?
Yeah.
You guys could probably beat the Chargers, though. I'll give you that.
Knowing the Chargers look, for sure. I'll say this, like, I don't know how much longer Justin Fields has. I don't know if he's the future.
No, I think this might be his last year, honestly. I think he'll play the rest of the season unless an injury occurs, but...
Yeah.
If the Bears have one of the top picks.
This is his third year?
This is, I think so. I think it's his third year. And so I think that they could, if they're in the running for Caleb Williams, I definitely think they go there. I really do.
Yeah.
But knowing the Bears, they'll probably pass on Caleb Williams and go freaking Drake May.
Yeah, we both got the Chiefs. Let's move on to the Sunday night game. Two old school franchises. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a pretty gritty win against the Raiders. Both teams are 1-1. Man, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Especially with TJ Watt out there.
Yeah. I think they just got smacked by the 49ers and everybody kind of
wrote them off.
Forgot about them. Yeah. But I think they're actually I still think they're a middle of the pack team. They'll probably go 9-8, miss the playoffs. But I think this will be I don't know, man. The Raiders are weird. The Raiders
Some games they look really good, and then other games they just look like shit.
Yeah, but then again, are we gonna have Devontae? Are we gonna have Jacoby Myers?
I don't think so.
Okay, then I'm gonna go Steelers here.
I would have gone Steelers even with them in, just because of the Steelers defense, even though it is in Las Vegas. I think the Steelers defense can do enough to stop Josh Jacobs and then make Jimmy G rely on the passing game. And I don't think that he's in a good situation like he was in San Francisco. I think San Francisco put him in a good situation and could utilize his strengths. I don't see that at Las Vegas yet. I mean, they had a good week 1 performance, but week 2 they got blown out. So I'm going Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, if Jacobs can get the ball going against that defense, he probably slow down that pass rush. Maybe Adams will be in the game. I doubt it. Maybe Myers will be in the game. I doubt it. I think I might go the Raiders. If I knew all of them were in, but yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers. So there you go. All right. Again, we have two stupid Monday night games. I don't know why NFL. You probably need to kill yourself for doing that. But
Unlive yourself. I think you get taken down if you say KILL. Some stupid YouTube thing.
we only have like 4 people listening.
Yeah, that's true. Unalive yourself.
All right. Anyways, this one might be a pretty good matchup though. We got the Philadelphia
I think this
Eagles.
is going to be more competitive than people think.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. We got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, the Eagles are without like their entire safety room. James Bradbury, Reed Blankenship, Kenneth. Oh, that's not Kenneth Gainwell's not a safety. Avonte Maddox, he's out. So they're out without their entire secondary. Their D line is good. Like, don't get me wrong. Their D line is probably the best in the NFL. But I don't know. There's just something about the Eagles now.
The Eagles haven't looked right, especially in the passing game. But I think that the Bucks, they're riding a high that it reminds me of 2018 when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback and he came out wearing like all the bedazzled jewelry, all the gold chains and everything. They started off 2-0, started hot, and then they just tanked after that. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I like Baker. I like the way he's playing. Mike Evans and him seem to have pretty good rapport. But I'm going to go Philadelphia. It's a more talented roster, even though it hasn't been living up to the expectation. I'm still going to go Eagles. I just think that they're a better team overall.
You know, I don't. If Baker can play good, this is a good team. They have a good defense. They have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who are probably like top 25 receivers, probably top 15. Yeah, I would say top 15. I would have no problem saying Mike Evans is a top 15 receiver. I think I like Mike Evans. If he could stay healthy for an entire season, he would be one of the GOATs. If they can get that run game going, the defense, if Baker can play, I think this is going to be a sneaky game. I do. Do I do it? Do
it.
I think we need a little bit of variety, and I didn't get to go for the Falcons, so I don't.
Yeah.
The likeliness of this happening is very unlikely, but I think the Bucks could play upset. So I'm gonna take the Bucks here, man. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Maybe I'm just like an Eagle hater right now, but I'm gonna take the Bucks. I think they can.
I like it.
I think, and honestly, if they don't win, I still think it's an interesting matchup. I don't think they lose by more than a score. I think that I think it's a close game.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being a close game for sure.
All right, and our next stupid matchup, we got the Los Angeles Rams against the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's in Cincinnati. Jesus Christ. It's in Cincinnati. But we don't know what the status of Joe Burrow is.
True.
This one's hard. This one's hard to predict right now. I'll say if it's not Joe Burrow, I think I might take the Rams. They looked good last week.
You ready for a hot take?
Yeah,
I think even with Joe Burrow, the Rams win.
Yeah, I mean, the way Joe Burrow has been playing, it's not pretty.
Well, the reason I say that is because if he does play, he's going to be playing with a calf strain. He's not going to be able to escape the pocket. I think Aaron Donald and Byron Young, who's kind of emerging as like a young stud, I think they could have a day. And the Bengals don't have a great offensive line, so they could definitely get after it. Joe Mixon hasn't been great. Jamar Chase hasn't been utilized. So it's tough, man. The Rams have been competitive as hell. Like, they have far exceeded my expectations at the start of the year. It is the very first quarter of the NFL season. I get that. But if they keep playing the way that they are, I'm going to go Rams. I think Kyron Williams emerging, Puka Nacua emerging, and Tutu Atwell. I think those three, they make a good trio. And, Higbee's still, or is it Higbee? Tyler Higbee? Yeah. He's still there. And yeah, I could see the Rams winning this one, even with Joe Burrow in there. I'm actually going to go Rams against my Super Bowl pick. That's crazy.
I do. I'm with you, man. Like, I do want to take the Rams here. I don't know what it is. They almost beat. I wouldn't say they almost beat them. The score says a little bit closer than it was. They were close with the 49ers all game. I'm
not going to say they definitely like a turning point though in that game, but they were definitely competitive.
Yeah, they were competitive in that game, which I think is a better team than the Bengals. I think all around defense, offense, maybe not quarterback, but I think they're just a better team than the Bengals. And to be that close with that team, who is my Super Bowl pick, yeah, I have to agree with you. I think I'm going to take the Rams as well. But we do only have two. So do I do the opposite? Nah, dude, I think you're right. I think the Rams can win. I do. I do. Right. Matthew Stafford looked good. Puka looks good. Kyron looks good. Shit, man. This is a hot take right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I'm with you on it. Like, I actually truly believe the Rams can beat the Bengals.
LA Nation, that's right. So you're going Rams also. All right. Yep. It's definitely a spicy take, but with the way the Bengals have been playing, I could definitely see it going the Rams' favor. I really can. So interesting. Right. And guys, that's gonna wrap up week 3. Like, comment, subscribe to let us know what you think, because there were a couple takes, pretty hot, spicy ones. A lot of games in the afternoon slate, not the most exciting 10 o'clock slate, some exciting games. Still, nonetheless, I'm excited for football. Again, guys, if you haven't already, check out our Thursday night preview in our Power Rankings episode. It'll be at the end. Jake, do you have anything to add before we get out of here?
No, thanks for listening. Good luck to all your teams, unless you're a division rival. And thank you for listening. Yes. So have a good week. Bye. Peace.